AITA for refusing to raise my ex's kid after a DNA test shattered her lie. Years ago, Jackson, dated a girl named Brittany. It was a bad relationship, really bad. She was controlling and emotionally abusive. It felt like walking on eggshells all the time. Eventually, things blew up, and we broke up. It ended badly. And I honestly thought that chapter of my life was closed for good. I moved on. Life didn't stop just because a relationship fell apart. Over the years, I managed to get a decent job, nothing fancy. But it covered all my needs, gave me some comfort, and I even managed to save a little. Finally, I was doing well. Then, a couple of months after landing that job, I got a message out of the blue. It was Brittany. She said she wanted to talk. I thought maybe she wanted to reconnect, or at least apologize for everything that happened. I was skeptical, but curiosity got the best of me. So I agreed. She showed up, but not alone. With her was a 5-year-old boy, small, quiet, with an uneasy look, clearly confused about what was going on. He clung to the side of her jeans, holding a worn teddy bear in one hand. She didn't even try to ease into it. As soon as I opened the door, she looked me straight in the eyes and said bluntly, "He's yours, Jackson. You're his father." I blinked, stunned. "What?" I managed to say. "You heard me," she said, crossing her arms. "This is your son, and I think it's about time you started taking responsibility." I looked at the boy, then back at her. "Brittany, what are you talking about? We haven't spoken in years, and now you show up with a kid and drop this on me." "I didn't plan on it," she said quickly, "but I'm tired. I've done everything alone, and well, you should be paying child support." "I don't even know if he's mine," I said, trying to keep calm. "This is the first time I'm hearing anything about this. And you expect me to just accept it and start giving you money? Are you calling me a liar?" she snapped. "I'm saying I need proof," I replied. "Look, if he's my son, then yes. I'll take responsibility, I'll pay, I'll be present, everything. But I'm not going to take just your word for it after everything we went through." "You're unbelievable," she muttered, shaking her head. "You think I'd lie about something like this?" "You've lied before," I responded, "about a lot of things. I'm not trying to be mean, Brittany. But you disappeared for years, and now you show up with a kid and demands. Can you really blame me for being cautious?" She narrowed her eyes. "You have money now, huh? A real job, savings." I heard. "I guess you just don't want to share." "It's not about that," I said. "If he's mine, I'll gladly share, but I want a DNA test. That's all, just a test." She scoffed. "You're disgusting." "No," I said firmly. "I'm being responsible. I'm willing to do the right thing if he's mine, but I'm not signing any checks or getting into this without knowing the truth." She glared at me, lips pressed together, and then muttered something under her breath before walking away with the boy still clinging to her hand. I closed the door, my heart pounding, and leaned against it, trying to process what the heck had just happened. I reached out to a lawyer friend of mine for advice. I told him the whole story, Brittany showing up after years, claiming the kid was mine and demanding money. He didn't even blink. "Don't panic," he said. "Tell her you'll assume full responsibility if the DNA test confirms paternity. No judge is going to fault you for wanting confirmation." So that's what I did. I called her the next day and said, "Brittany, I'm willing to do the right thing if he's mine. I'll pay child support. I'll be involved in his life, everything. But I want a DNA test." Her tone changed instantly. "You don't believe me?" she asked, her voice tight with anger. "No, I don't believe you. I just need to know the truth." "The truth is I wouldn't come to you if I wasn't sure," she snapped. "Do you think I'd lie about something like this?" I stayed calm. "Brittany, I'm not trying to insult you. I'm trying to handle this like adults. You don't want to go to court, do you? Neither do I. Let's just get the test done." "Sure, now you have a job," she interrupted. "You have money and think you can buy your way out of being a father, demanding tests." "No test, no money," I said, and she hung up. After that, she started making excuses every time I brought it up. She'd say the kid was sick, she couldn't that week, or that I was being cold and heartless. She even contacted my mother one day. My mom called me, confused. "Why is Brittany saying you're refusing to take care of your own son?" I sighed. "Because I asked for a DNA test." There was a pause. "Oh," she said, as if suddenly everything made sense. "Brittany tried everything. She told my family I was dodging responsibility, told our mutual friends I was a deadbeat dad. but she couldn't avoid the test forever. Finally, she ran out of excuses. We met at the testing center. She didn't even look at me. The boy sat quietly, swinging his legs, as the technician took swabs from our mouths. The whole process took less than 5 minutes. 2 weeks later, the results arrived. I'm not the father. I read the document twice to make sure I wasn't seeing things. I called her. The results are in, I said. Silence. I'm not the father. She was silent for a few seconds and then suddenly exploded. I know he's yours, she insisted, raising her voice. That test must be wrong. It's not. It was done by professionals. Then she started to cry, loud, messy sobs. I gave up everything for that child and you're just walking away after all this. Yes, I'm walking away. He's not my son, and I don't want anything to do with you or your child, I said coldly. He's not my son, and you tried to con me out of money with a lie. That's fraud. I deserve it. That money, she yelled through tears. Do you know how hard all of this has been? I don't care. You spread your legs, got pregnant by who knows who, and expect me to pay. Forget you. She hung up, and that was it. She completely lost control, cried, yelled that it was unfair, that she deserved the money anyway, but there was nothing left for her to do. She didn't get a dime. Fast forward to last week. There was a small party at my parents' house, nothing big. Just family and close friends. I was talking with my brother Tyler and a friend of ours, Kevin, in the backyard, laughing about random stuff. Then Tyler mentioned Brittany and the whole situation. He started joking about it, and since we were on the opposite end of the house, just the three of us, Tyler, Kevin, and me, already a few drinks in, we started making jokes about the whole Brittany mess. Tyler cracked the first one. Well, at least now you know you shoot blanks. I laughed harder than I probably should have. Kevin followed up. I can't believe she tried to scam you like that. 5 years later. What was she thinking? That you'd write a check and disappear? I grinned and said, yeah. Apparently all it takes is a kid who roughly fits the timeline. And suddenly, I'm the millionaire daddy. The jokes got darker. We were being immature, sure, but we weren't trying to hurt anyone. We thought we were alone, away from everyone else, on the other side of the house. There was no way anyone could hear us, or so we thought. Out of nowhere, my sister Madison stormed in, furious. You could tell she was livid. The next thing I knew, she shoved me hard against the wall. You think this is funny? She snarled. You're laughing about a child and a woman you abandoned? I blinked, completely taken aback. What the heck, Madison? Were you spying on us? I heard you, she hissed, mocking a poor woman who's doing everything she can to raise a child alone. While you're making jokes. You're disgusting. She turned and walked away before I could say a word. A few hours later, when the party was over, she asked me to come to the kitchen with our parents. I thought she wanted to smooth things over, but no. What she wanted was to double down. She stood there, arms crossed, like she was delivering a sentence. I just think it's time we all faced how awful Jackson has been. Brittany came to me because she needed support. She told me everything, how he left her, forced her to raise a child alone. And now he's mocking her pain like it's a joke. Tyler and I exchanged glances. Are you serious right now? I asked. Is she lying? Tyler added. You have the story completely backward. Madison didn't flinch. You have a moral obligation, Jackson. Even if the test said he's not yours, you were with her, you got her pregnant, you abandoned your responsibilities. I was about to respond when my dad stepped in. Your morals can go to hell. Maybe the jokes were in poor taste, but Jackson is not responsible for that kid. The DNA test was clear. I thought that would be the end of it, but then Mom spoke, and that was different. She said, even if the child isn't yours, you're doing well financially, you earn more than enough to help her. You should have helped her. I stared at her in disbelief. Are you saying I should give money to a woman who lied to me, who tried to saddle me with a child that's not mine? She just looked at me and said quietly, it's your decision. I respect it. I'm just very disappointed that you turned out to be so selfish. After that, it didn't stop. Madison kept sending me guilt-tripping texts like it was her full-time job. Things like, you know she's struggling and you're sitting on a pile of money? Or, you're literally ruining lives because of your pride. Dad and Tyler were on my side. They both said I wasn't responsible for her and I was doing the right thing by standing my ground. But the pressure from Madison was exhausting. Finally, Mom and I talked again. She brought it up gently, probably hoping I'd cave. She seemed like such a nice girl, she said softly, almost to herself. I just didn't believe you when you said she was abusive. I thought a girl like that wouldn't do those things, so you must have been exaggerating. We argued for a while. I told her everything again, how Brittany controlled everything, how she manipulated things, how this kid's stunt wasn't even the worst thing she'd done. Slowly, something shifted in my mother's face. She looked down and said, maybe I didn't want to believe she was like that, because it made me think of other things I've tried not to think about, ever. I didn't say anything. She looked at me again. Do you think I was on her side because deep down I was afraid I had done something like that? That maybe your father. No, that maybe you weren't his? Her voice cracked on that last part. I don't know. I responded quietly, but I am his son, and you should have believed me. She apologized sincerely. We talked for a long time. We're okay now. She got it. But Madison decided to cut contact with me for a while. She said she wouldn't talk to me again until I took responsibility and did the right thing. After a few days, I reached out. I sent her the test results, screenshots of the messages, everything. She read them and then said, "None of that matters. A woman's word comes first. That's all the proof anyone should need." Madison didn't stop there. She doubled down and said, "Even if you're not the biological father, you have a responsibility. You were with her. You helped create that situation. So be a man for once and own up to it. Start acting like a real man." That's when I knew there was no reaching her. She wasn't listening. She didn't care about the facts. She picked a side, and that was it. It was a lost cause. As for Brittany, I started digging a little deeper into what happened after we broke up. Turns out, not long after we ended things, she got involved with another guy. Either it was really fast, or she was cheating on me with him while we were still together. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was the latter. They broke up a few weeks later. Then came a string of dates, one after the other, until she found out she was pregnant. That's when the pattern became clear. She wasn't looking for love, she was looking for someone to take on the role of father. From what I found out, she'd tried the same stunt with at least 2 other men before me. It didn't work. I was just next on the list, only this time she was desperate enough to be more aggressive than ever. And she picked the wrong target. Then, a few days later, it reached a new level of crazy. I was at work, trying to get through the day like everyone else, when she showed up with Madison. They had made a giant sign with my face on it, in big letters that read, "Abandoned his son, a deadbeat dad." They stood right outside the building, yelling, chanting, trying to cause a scene and put on a public show. I could hear Madison yelling, "You're not getting away with this. The world has to see who you really are." It was surreal. My coworkers were watching, people were recording. It was a circus. When I confronted them, they didn't even try to hide their intentions. Brittany looked me in the eye and said, "We came to shame you. If the law won't make you take responsibility, maybe social pressure will." Madison added, "You don't deserve to live in peace while she suffers." Eventually, security escorted them out, but the damage was done. My boss called me into his office and told me that kind of thing couldn't happen again, or there would be consequences. Even after I showed him the DNA test, the legal documents, everything, he just shook his head and said, "It doesn't matter if it's true or not, Jackson. We can't have this kind of drama here. You have to make sure this stops." That was the last straw. I called my lawyer friend. We started drafting everything. Every detail, every message, every incident. We were building the case. Not just against Brittany, but against Madison too. I told my lawyer, "They want to play dirty? Fine, we're going to do this right, and I'm not holding back." When Brittany found out about the lawsuit, she went ballistic. She completely unraveled. She started calling and texting me, begging me to drop it. "I take it all back," she told me. "I won't contact you again. I swear. Just please, Jackson, don't do this. You're going to ruin our lives. My son doesn't deserve this." I didn't respond, because at that point, I didn't care anymore. I'd been the nice guy for too long, quiet, giving in, trying to explain myself. But enough was enough. She wanted a war, and now she had one. And Madison freaked out when she realized her little stunt at my work had backfired. Instead of backing down, she took it to social media. She posted on her accounts that I had abandoned my son, that I refused to take responsibility. And when rumors of the lawsuit started circulating, she twisted that too. She said I was using legal threats to silence a woman, that I was trying to censor her, and what I was doing was just another example of misogyny in action. In the end, This is going to cost Madison dearly. Not only do I have solid evidence to shut down her defamation, DNA results, text messages, legal documents, but now she's giving me even more ammunition. Everything she posts, every new lie, every screenshot I collect, it all adds up in my favor. And even though part of me wishes I didn't have to go down this road, I know this is just the beginning. It's going to be long and exhausting, but I'm not backing down. Recently, we had a posada at my parents' house. I had to look up what that was exactly. Apparently, it's a traditional Mexican pre-Christmas celebration commemorating Mary and Joseph's search for shelter. But for us, it's always just been a big family get-together before the holidays. We've been doing it for years. I didn't want to go at first. The thought of being near Madison made my stomach churn. But some relatives reached out and promised me she wouldn't be there. They swore it, said it would just be a quiet, pleasant night. So I caved. I decided to go. Big mistake. As soon as I walked in and saw Madison standing there, I knew I'd been set up. My heart sank. I immediately turned around, ready to leave, but then my mom came up to me and stopped me. "Jackson, wait, just wait a minute, please," she said, tugging on my arm. I didn't answer. "You lied to me." "I didn't lie," she said, her voice shaking. "I just thought if we all sat down and talked as a family." "You ambushed me," I said curtly. "This isn't a family conversation. This is manipulation." She started to cry, dramatic, over-the-top tears. "You have to stop this," she sobbed. "You're destroying the family, Jackson. Please, you have to forgive your sister and put this behind you." That hit me like a slap in the face. Right there, in front of everyone, she was still siding with Madison, still pretending this was just a misunderstanding, that I was overreacting. I looked her in the eye and said, "I'm going to say this only once. Your daughter lied and tried to ruin my reputation, and you saw it and did nothing. And now you want me to drop the charges so she can have peace of mind. She deserves nothing from me but my hatred and my fury, and I'm going to make sure she gets it. Now get out of my way before you get caught in the crossfire too." And I left. Most of the family knows what happened. Some think Madison is completely out of her mind, but then there are the others. The ones who think I'm being too harsh, that I'm dragging this out unnecessarily, that I should be the bigger person. A couple of days ago, Mom called again. She said she wanted me to spend Christmas with them. After what she pulled at the posada, I didn't even want to answer. But she begged, swore up and down it wouldn't happen again. That she understood everything, that it would just be family, food, and peace. I should have known it was a lie. Tyler called me the night before Christmas and said, "Hey, just so you know, Mom is planning to lock you in the house until you forgive Madison and stop with all this drama." My heart sank. I felt sick. That's what it had come to. She wanted to trap me and force me to reconcile with the person who dragged my name through the mud. I picked up the phone and called her. "I know what you're planning," I said. There was a pause. "No, not anymore. I'm done with you, and screw Madison. Don't ever talk to me again unless it's to apologize and admit you supported the wrong person." She tried to talk over me, but I hung up. That night, I ignored all her calls, all her messages, every attempt at emotional manipulation. I didn't go for Christmas. And yes, I heard about the drama afterward, that she cried, that she told everyone I was cold, ungrateful, cruel. But I don't care anymore. I'm tired of being the nice guy. It's been a while, over a year in fact. A lot has happened, a lot has changed. First of all, the lawsuit. Long story short, I won. We didn't even go to trial. It all got settled in mediation. My lawyer's strategy was simple but brutal. Put everything on the table. Harassment, defamation, attempts to get me fired, paternity fraud, whatever. We threw in everything we could, not just to seek justice, but to give them a good scare. And if that didn't work, fine. We'd go to trial and throw every single charge at them. Madison, of course, thought it was an empty threat. She thought her brother was going to let her walk all over him. She kept posting her garbage on social media, acting like she was untouchable, like nothing could affect her. Big mistake. Every word she posted, every comment, every accusation came back to bite her. We had it all, screenshots, backups, recordings. Like a typical liberal feminist, she regretted it, but only when the consequences arrived. As for Brittany, she folded fast, retracted everything she said, claimed she didn't mean it, that she'd been badly advised, that she just wanted it all to be over and prevent her life from falling apart. It's easier to apologize when you realize everything you're about to lose. In the end, she agreed to settle out of court. We reached an agreement. She paid what she owed, and just like that, she left Madison alone in a war that Brittany had started. When Madison finally realized what was happening, that this was real, that Brittany had abandoned her, and she was now alone facing everything we'd compiled against her, she panicked. Deleted everything, every post, every video, every fake story she'd concocted about me. Started acting like none of it ever happened. But it was too late. We already had everything we needed. In the final mediation meeting, she broke down, completely crumbled in tears. "Please, Jackson," she pleaded, "don't do this. Don't ruin my life. I didn't mean for it to go this far. Please." I looked at her and said, "You had so many chances to stop. You chose not to. I'm not doing this to you. You did this to yourself." And that was the truth. She could have walked away at any time. She could have apologized, told the truth, taken responsibility. Instead, she kept pushing, kept lying, kept escalating everything until there was no way out. But in the end, she ended up having to pay me a hefty sum, on top of all the legal costs. Mom helped her cover the settlement, but Dad wanted nothing to do with it. He made it very clear she'd have to pay them back over time. No freebies. For a few months, she held a grudge. Wouldn't talk to me, told anyone who'd listened that I'd ruined her life, that I'd gone too far. But time passed. Eventually we talked, sat down face to face, no yelling, just truths. The relationship is damaged, maybe forever, but we're trying, slowly healing. She admitted that at first she really believed she was doing the right thing. That she was fighting for someone she saw as a victim, standing up for what she believed was just. "I thought I was helping," she told me, looking down, defending a poor woman in need. She was sure she had to win. Her friends backed her up, put those ideas in her head, told her she was brave, fighting on behalf of all women who'd been wronged, and she believed them. Believed it all, until it all became too real. When Madison realized she had no way to win, when everything we had against her came crashing down and the pressure was unbearable, she broke. And in that moment, all those girls who'd cheered her on vanished. Brittany especially. She was one of the loudest voices pushing Madison, always telling her to hold on, to fight. But when things got serious, when the settlement came and Madison was left standing alone in the middle of the storm, Brittany was nowhere to be found. The others simply disappeared. A few left half-hearted, good luck, messages, and went on with their lives. No support, no more validation, nothing. At that point, she had no choice but to surrender. And that's how it all ended. Madison broken and buried under a debt she brought upon herself. Brittany out of the picture, and me finally able to breathe. And for those still whispering nonsense, no, my sister and my ex were not in a relationship. I don't know where my ex is now, and frankly, I don't care. She paid, disappeared, and I hope I never see her again. Some people have told me I went too far with her, that I was cruel, that I destroyed a single mother who was already struggling. Others said I was disloyal to my family for taking things that far, that I should have handled it within the family. But you know what? I don't care anymore. I did what I had to do. I protected myself, I defended my name, and I regret nothing. Now, about my mother. During the months of mediation, Mom kept siding with Madison. Over and over she'd beg me to drop it, tell me to just get over it. She tried everything: guilt, shame, manipulation. "Are you destroying this family?" she asked me once, tears in her eyes. "Is it really worth it?" And then she went further, threatened to disown me. "If you go through with this," she said, her voice cold, "don't expect me to call you my son anymore." That stuck with me, but in the end, she didn't follow through. And now she's bitter, resentful even, but the truth is out. The damage is done. After all of that, I couldn't help but wonder why. Why does she keep treating me like this? Why is she always on everyone else's side but mine? I read comments online. Some people suggesting something I'd never allowed myself to think before, but the more I thought about it, the more it made sense. So I finally talked to Tyler, then Dad. All of this. I told them one night, doesn't make sense, Mom's behavior. None of this adds up unless there's something we're not seeing. Dad was quiet for a while, then slowly nodded. I've had my doubts too, he said, especially after everything she's been saying lately, the way she talks, the things she implies. It took a few beers, a hard conversation, and a lot of raw emotion. But he finally said it. "If it turns out you're not my son," he said, looking me straight in the eye. I'll still be your dad. Always. Tyler agreed. Same here, he said. We're brothers. No matter what. So we did it. We got the DNA test. Turned out we're both his sons, 100%. My dad looked like he could finally breathe, but at the same time, I saw something else in his face. Shame. A deep, crushing shame. He hated that he had doubted her, hated that he'd allowed himself to believe it, even for a second. After a silence, he said, I have to apologize to her. I told him I wanted to do it first. That night we all met at Dad's house, all sitting around the table. The atmosphere was tense, heavy. I looked at Mom and said, first of all, I want to say I'm sorry for the fighting, for the attention. I know I haven't been easy to deal with lately, and I know I've said things I regret. She didn't say anything, just stared at me. But your behavior, I said carefully, the way you defended Madison, how you threatened to cut me out of your life, it made us all doubt. I paused. My hands were sweating. So I proposed, I said, looking from her to Dad and then to Tyler, that we all take a DNA test. The second those words left my mouth, my mom went crazy. It was like flipping a switch. Her face turned red in less than a second, and before I could process what was happening, she was already up from her chair, screaming and lunging at me. You did what? She shrieked. She grabbed me, pulled my hair, scratched me, hit me, yelling at the top of her lungs. I hate you. You had no right. No right. I froze, paralyzed. I didn't defend myself. I didn't even speak. It was my dad and Tyler who had to pull her off me, restrain her while she thrashed and kept screaming. And then, suddenly, her rage turned to pleading. She turned to Dad, fell to her knees, grabbed his arm like it was her last hope. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please. I didn't mean to. I didn't know. Please. But my dad had never seen that look on her face before. Shock, fury, betrayal. He looked at her and said, You attacked him. He was trying to apologize to you. The test says they're both my sons, and he was still going to apologize to you. That stopped her cold. Her face completely changed. Fear, desperation, it all flooded in. And that's when it happened, when the truth finally came out. She confessed. A long time ago, she had an affair. Not a one-time thing, a real affair. It went on for a while. And when she got pregnant with me, she said she never knew if I was my dad's son or her lover's. They rarely used protection. For all these years, she kept that secret buried, always wondering, always questioning, but never saying a word. She said she planned to take it to her grave. But now that it was exposed, suddenly everything made sense. The way she treated me growing up, how she always sided with everyone else and never me. How she bent over backward for Madison, but never gave me the benefit of the doubt. It was guilt, shame, maybe resentment, whatever it was, that was the reason. That night we kicked her out. And it didn't take long for the rest of the family to find out. We warned everyone in case she tried to twist it, lie, or play the victim. She hated it. Started calling everyone, yelling, crying. You have no right, she'd scream on the phone. I'm their mother. Don't talk about me like that. You have no right to say anything against me. But she knew, deep down she knew. So, to close out all this madness, I won. In the end, I received a decent amount of money. Tyler is still my best friend. This has only brought us closer. My relationship with Madison is damaged. But it's healing. She finally distanced herself from those toxic, misandrous friends. Brittany disappeared, hopefully for good this time. My dad is hurt. There's no way around it. The woman he built his life with turned out to be a liar, a cheater. But they're not getting divorced. He let her back in the house, but he was crystal clear. He hasn't forgiven her. And he never will. She's not getting a dime of what I worked for, he told me. We're married, but we're not partners anymore. Not anymore. Now she's doing everything she can to win him back. Trying to be the perfect wife, all of a sudden. But with me, yeah, she hates me, because to her, I'm the cause of all her problems. In her own words, if you'd just done what I told you and taken care of the kid, none of this would have happened. I hope you're happy now. That was her last message to me. I don't even know how to respond to that. All this chaos, all this mess, and she still tried to twist it around to blame me. In her head, if I'd just done what she said, if I'd taken the kid and turned a blind eye to everything else, none of this would have happened. But the truth is, none of this would have happened if she hadn't been so desperate to hide her own mistakes, if she hadn't lied, if she hadn't betrayed everything I thought I knew about my family. Anyway, I guess it doesn't matter anymore. I spent so long trapped in emotions and confusion, but I'm done. 2023 was a hell of a year, to say the least, but I'm hoping 2024 will be better. Now I'm focusing on work, on saving, and on building a future as far away from all this craziness as possible. I cut off all contact with my mother. I don't care what she thinks anymore. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.